Hi, my name's Gabi Bliss, and I wanted to tell you about a prophetic dream that I had. Now, I don't normally have prophetic dreams, although when I manage to remember my dreams, um, and there's ways to do that, usually the way it works for me is I tell myself I'm going to remember my dreams when I wake up, and I get enthused about dreaming. And also, if I start to do Jungian dream analysis, um, which was developed by Carl Jung, my dreams start to get the idea that they're going to be listened to, because dreams are a way for your subconscious to communicate to you. So if your subconscious gets that, or your higher self gets that you're listening, and you give yourself a command before you go to sleep, you can remember your dream. Anyway, this prophetic dream that I had, I think I had it because I was so desperate to, because I went to the beach with my dog one evening for sunset. Is our ritual to walk at sunset, and we hadn't been to the beach for some time, and we used to live on the beach, and my dog loves the beach. Anyway, what happened was, just as we were about to leave, I was fiddling around, getting dressed after my swim, and my dog took off into the bush. And there's probably, I don't know, maybe 5 miles of bush on this beach. All the way along the beachfront is bush. And so normally, she might take off somewhere and um, for 5 minutes, but she comes when I call her. And she didn't come. And I called and called and called, and it was like getting dark. And half an hour passed, an hour passed. Now it was dark. I drove around the neighbourhood, calling out to her, asking people if they'd seen her. I drove as close as I could to the beachfront, because there's all houses along, backing onto the bush, which backs onto the beach. So I was kind of in a real state, because my dog's kind of my family. Get really close to your dog. So I did anyway. I am. And I thought, well, I can't just leave her here. Luckily, I have a van, and I have a bed in the back of my van in case I want to stay somewhere. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to stay here. And I was really worried about the dog. So I went and got some food and drove back to the beach and parked where we were when we got to the beach. And I put out to the universe, prayed, whatever, please, please, give me a dream or a sign, or let her turn up. I had my radio on a bit. I thought, she'll come back to the car. This had never happened. I mean, she's run off before, but I've always found her. So eventually, I waited up for her, of course. Eventually I went to sleep, maybe after 3 hours. And I had this dream that I met this couple that was staying in a beachfront house. And you know how dreams are, they're pretty strange. And I also saw this white outline, like the white lines on the road. And it was like a map. And there was these little white lines and footprints. And I met this couple. I walked into this house, and they had my dog. And this is in the dream, right? And they said, you were right near her all the time. You almost drove over her head. I was so happy to see her, and I went, oh, my puppy, and I was really happy, and it was a happy dream. And then I woke up. It was probably, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the morning, and I woke up and I just went, oh, that's a fantastic dream. Okay, everything's going to be all right. So I just knew from that dream everything was going to be okay. Anyway, I woke up at dawn and I walked around. It's a beautiful bushwalk around the edge of the beach, and I walked around. I met a few people, and I said, if you see this dog, look, here's my phone number, and I'm looking for the dog. And there's miles of bush. I just got really tired of looking for her, and the sun came up and it was really hot, and I'm at the beach, and I decided I would go for a swim. And part of me, sat me down on the beach and went, I don't want to go for a swim. I'm too worried. I'm really, like I've lost my damn dog. So anyway, I went, no, go for a swim. Don't sulk. It's not going to do any good to sulk. So I had my swimming costume on and my clothes. Now, where I was sitting, we've got 5 miles of beach, 5 miles of bush, and I plopped down in this spot, right? A random spot, somewhere near where we had been when I lost my dog the day before. I went for a swim. I felt heaps better. I put out another prayer to the universe. I turned around to walk out of the water, and right in front of me there was a beach path, and there were like hundreds of them all the way along the beach, leading through the bush onto the beach. Down this path walked this couple, and with the couple was my dog. And this couple was smiling and friendly people, and I walked up and I went, you found my dog, you found my dog, where was she? And they said, oh, she must have just followed us. We think she was in a house just there. We heard noise in the house next door last night. And where the house was, my dog had just kind of crawled in under the house, and she was, I don't know whether she was disobedient or she couldn't find me and she got lost in the bush, or she was just going, look, I'm staying here and I'm just going to go to sleep, and when I wake up in the morning I'll be at the beach. I don't know what her story was, but I had driven around in a whole circle around this house and, literally almost driven over her head like it said in the dream. So I got my dog back, and I haven't been back to that beach in case she gets that idea again. I watch her like a hawk when we're on the beach, and I don't let her out of my sight for 5 minutes. But that's my prophetic dream. Thought I'd tell you about it. I think when the chips are down, we can all do that kind of thing, call in information from the universe to get directions. So maybe we should all do that a little bit more, because it's handy to have that kind of inner knowing and messages from the universe, God, about what's going on. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.